Right, let's do that talking behind the screen thing. Good evening. Good evening, one and all. I hope everyone is well. Delighted to be back. I do apologise for having been unable to stream the last couple of days, but we're back. The voice is less gravel and more just sand. It's there, kind of finer. Maybe not quite as noticeable, which is good. So we've got a fun stream hopefully in store. Today everything is good. Football is good because Aston Villa won during the week. FM is good because we're about to hit the transfer window and start to finally put our touch on the squad. And this stream is already good because RJ has redeemed guest a player before we even started. So we're going to start with that a little bit earlier. But first, let's just do some welcomes. I'd like to start by saying thank you to Druska Puska, Paolo Lima 74, and No Wallace. I have a feeling you might not be in the stream right now, but if you are, or if you're watching back the VOD, I just want to say a huge thank you for the follows during the course of the week. You are absolute stars. And then let's say hello to Quadmo, who was first in tonight. Quadmo, how are you, sir? How was your gig yesterday? Had a gig in Cambridge, I believe. I mean, I say I believe. I've got a text, so I kind of know that. But yeah. Let us know how you got on. RJ is in almost first, but not quite there. And Levi comes in third. We've got Mo. We've got Izzo. Do apologise if I've got my pronunciation wrong here, by the way. But we've got Ibosla in YouTube as well. I hope you both are doing well. Mo is currently managing Havant and Waterlooville, having got them up to League One. Fantastic stuff. Absolutely incredible work. We also have Adam, or we may have Adam. Adam did pop in to say hello, and he might be back a little bit later. I don't know if you've already popped off, Adam, but if you haven't, I hope you have a good evening and maybe catch you a little bit later on. We have a DMB, I should be able to read DMB, but I call you DMB for short, but it's DM bassist, of course. Maybe we'll start playing around with it. I'll start calling you Drum and B, or D and B. Who knows? Let's see how things go. We also have Tatsugiri in. How are you, Tatsugiri? Lovely to see you here this evening. We've got a Supreme Kwan is in. Kwan is here to bribe the refs for us. What a legend. Heston Vanna is in over on YouTube. So is Riaz, by the way. Riaz BTW, thank you so much for the follow. I hope you are doing well. Do let us know who you support. And well, first, absolutely zero obligation to chat whatsoever. But if you want to, let us know who you support. Let us know who you're managing. That'd be awesome to know. And the same there for you, Heston Vanna, over on YouTube. Dortmund Part 2 was so great. As always, some of my favourite content anyway. Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So yes, that's... If you haven't already seen it, guys, the second part of the Dortmund series is out today. So there's your late night viewing after this stream has ended, or potentially for the morning. We've got a whole weekend. Actually, we've got the whole forever. I mean, between now and the end of time, potentially you can watch it. So there's no rush, really, is there? Rich Son, good evening. I hope you're doing well. I had the lurgy. I did indeed have the lurgy. And I actually have a feeling it might be a tooth infection. I booked an appointment with the dentist, but started to get some pain in the left-hand side of the mouth as well. So maybe it's all related, or maybe that's just another illness to come down with it. It is the time of year for it, isn't it? So we'll see how things go. So DMB, you've got this Chinese takeaway, right? So it's going to be spring rolls, etc. instead of kebab. Oh, sorry. Okay. So it's a mixture of Indian, kebab meat, and all like the sundries and stuff. So is it made by the Indian, or is it like a conglomeration of takeaways all near one another? It sounds amazing. Sounds absolutely incredible. And so, El Norby is in, and Jim Papas. Good evening, guys. I hope you are well. So, Tatsugiri, any opinion on the Flopetegui situation? Oh, I like that. Flopetegui. What a marvellous name. So, I watched the game on, was it Tuesday evening? Maybe Wednesday evening? I can't remember. I have no understanding of dates or times or anything at all. But West Ham were kind of unlucky. They played really, really well. They created the most chances they've ever created in a Premier League game. And they are undone by a Mavropanos mistake by sitting too deep and 2 counter-attacks. And that kind of, like, there's very little more that Lopetegui can do. I mean, I think, so West Ham squad right now, their defenders are Kilman, Mavropanos, and who was the French lad they signed? The one who isn't Euro, the other young French centre-back, Todibo, Jean-Claire Todibo. Now, I don't know if Todibo is injured, but basically there's 3 centre-backs. Todibo, indeed, thank you very much, guys. So there's only 3 centre-back, real senior centre-backs in that squad, which is a big, big problem. I have bigger questions towards Stuyton as to, ultimately, the biggest issue to me seems to be that you don't have the personnel, but you're creating the chances. What Lopetegui has you set up to do, you were really, really good. Maybe he needs to spend more time training Bowen to shoot. Like, imagine I'm a goalkeeper, right? I'm here, I'm standing tall, I'm standing big. Now, if Bowen could just shoot, say, like there, that would be really, really handy, because that's not straight at the goalkeeper and really increases your chances of scoring goals. Sorry, that was unnecessarily bitchy. I love Jared Bowen, but yeah, his finishing was pretty awful. Right, I've yabbered on for far too long. Let's head on over to the first game of the evening. A little bit of Guess the Player, redeemed by RJ13. There's a Sassmas in. There's a Sassmas. Good evening, Sass. How are you, sir? I hope you're well. I hope you are well. So people are saying that, so Todibo's had a bust up with Floppy, has he now? Interesting. He was amazing in prior FMs. He's he is still a very, very good defender, and I think the fact that he was linked with a couple of, no disrespect to West Ham, but some bigger clubs in the Premier League as well, certainly suggests that there's a lot of hope for him there. So we have a first guess in for the Guess the Player with former Watford and Arsenal youngster Paolo Venazza. Let's explain how this game works for those that don't know. You're going to see a snapshot of a player's profile in FM24. That's the default database on FM24, so you might find that these players have moved over the summer, but this will be the team that they were at the start of the game. You will see the positions they play, then you'll see their attribute polygon, then you'll see their scout report, then their attributes and traits, and finally their positions. Your job is simple. Guess who the player is. The earlier you guess, the more points you get. And those points mean you'll appear on that lovely little scoreboard thing that I think's beneath me. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I know what I'm doing. So let's head on over to the first clue and see if anyone can guess it from just the fact that they're a 3-star wide centre-back, ball-playing defender or libero who's left-footed. So the 13 is just because RJ was taken. You can forget it. I refuse to believe that. I assume you are the 13th RJ that has ever existed. Heston asks, best nation league to start a Moneyball save? And I apologise that this is going to be a very, very on the fence answer, but the best league is the one that you find yourself most invested in. It really doesn't matter. You can play absolutely anywhere. I've had great fun with it over here. We are in Finland. We'll be doing that today. We had an awful time of it in Italy, but I still enjoyed there. I've enjoyed massively South Africa, England, Germany, all the big leagues as well, all the little leagues. What ultimately makes you enjoy a save is going to be the more important element there. So I'm getting there. UK gave me a bag of something nasty, so bring home with me. So been ill for a week now or so. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Sass. I mean, it's awesome that you were able to come over, but yeah, that's rough. That's horrible. Just got to get all that English lurgy out of the system. So Supreme Kwan has guessed Olawale. Steve Froggatt has come in. Tatsugiri says it's cold. So the proper guesses we've got coming in. We've got Lisandro Martinez. He plays for a team that plays with 3 at the back. Why'd you say he plays for a team that plays with 3 at the back there, Kwan? Papagilla Bodji, Wesley Hurt, Alaba, Tapsoba, Medina, Nduka Jr. as a guess. Romero as well. Some fabulous Fabulous guesses. Let's move on to the next clue. None of you are quite there. By the way, lovely to see you in Crab Lungs. Are you in any relationship to the greatest quarterback in American football, Crab Legs Jameis Winston? Balkan FM, by the way, welcome in, and to you, True, as well. I hope you're both doing well. DM Basis, by the way, asked, lads, is there any reason I shouldn't manage in Norway? There is zero reason. Go and manage in Norway. Quadmo has guessed Hincapi. That is a good guess. It's not Hincapi, though. Because of the wide centre-back, that's his best role. That's fair. I do find that FM likes to assign wide centre-back as the best role for a number of players. But you could be right too. I'm not going to commit one way or the other in that regard. A central defender, good at defence. I know, it's mind-boggling, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. So, Gonzalo Inacio guesses Tatsugiri. It's not Inacio, but that's good. Also, that Amrin has gone to a back three. That's fair indeed. Evening, sadly not. My athletic days are behind me. That's a shame, Crab Lungs. Is your name Crab Lungs because you now have literally the lungs of crab? Because that's kind of understandable. So Crodmo is suggesting Viking Stavanger for DM basis. Not a guess of Viking Stavanger. Ladislav has gone for Bastoni. Supreme Quan for Andres Christensen. Balkan for Durkee. RJ for Kimbembe. Supreme Quan for Laporte. Now, it would be really, really bad if this was Bastoni, because that's like I'm playing with RJ by choosing an Inter player that's not DeMarco. But you see, the problem is it is an Inter player that's not DeMarco. It is absolutely Alessandro Bastoni. But before we reveal the picture, let's all take a moment to admire the wonder that is Blue Neri. The wonderful, wonderful Blue Neri Milan, everyone's favourite Italian side. There we go, a fabulous 4 points heading your way, Ladislav. Absolutely incredible work. Give that man a round of applause. Right, so let's head on in to actually playing. So, as normal, I don't tend to play off stream, I involve you, but I have moved the dates forwards a little bit. So we have gone forwards a week to the point where those players that we identified as being gone have been released. And that means we have some money. We haven't offered any contracts to free transfers yet. We'll be doing all that on stream. But the first step is to have a look at what's changed in terms of the squad. So released, out is gone. Right back who was always injured, Yuri Nissanen. He's got better. Decent defensively, can't do anything there. But his wages were around €600 a week. Backup goalkeeper and former under-20s coach Mark Nordqvist. He's out for a while as well, I think. Only 3 more weeks. Okay, fair enough. Oskari Salonen, the attacking midfielder who scored 2 goals in our comeback on the opening day of the season, but he's a bit rubbish other than that. Iri Matti Alvanen, a player I spent all season slagging off, and actually turned out to be pretty decent for us, but his wages were too high, unfortunately. #XXM, by the way, thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're doing well. Do let us know if you're comfortable chatting, who you support, who you're playing with at the moment in FM. Would love to hear from you. But as I say, only if you feel comfortable with. Day has also been released. Day, our Brazilian touch. He was on loan for the first half of the season and couldn't really make it into the team ahead of our great striker, Olawale. And then Hussein Usman Suleiman, a centre-back / defensive midfielder who's 5'8" and didn't really do anything. He had a couple of injuries, never really made it into the team. So they're no, that's not all of it. They're gone. I've also taken an executive decision. I've sacked our scouting team, all of them. I've taken over control of the scouting element of the game because they spent a lot of money despite us not having a budget. So we can see here our scouting budget is currently €400,000 above the budget. Look, there was a budget of 0 to begin with. They were always going to overspend. But even when I took control of the scouting and said don't scout anymore, they continued scouting. So we've taken over. We've sacked them all, and we will have to just rely on the data and then perhaps some trials, and that's how we're going to look to move forwards with it until we actually have a decent amount of money. You can also see here the impact of the released players. We currently have a wage budget of 2.66 thousand per week, having been about 500 euros a week over. Before that, it was even up to about 1,500 over. It's nice to finally have some cash that we can work with. So anyway, DM Bassist, you said that you were leaning towards Tromso, as I remember the legendary Carrot and Bodge from back in the day, but I will be looking around. I mean, Tromso are a classic. You can't really go wrong in that regards, can you? Oh boy, Blue Neri, indeed. See, Inter Milan plays with a back three. Indeed, Supreme Quan. Indeed, you did call it right. I didn't want to. Now, you will get players who are listed as a wide centre back, so I didn't want people to discount the possibility of a back two altogether, but it was indeed. I also didn't want to make it sound like it wasn't a back three. Clap says Crodmo RG celebrates as well. Should have known it would have been an Italian club. We had to honour Blue Neri on the first stream since that happened. Alt Ferrataru, you're in. Good evening. I hope you're doing well. I do apologise for the awful pronunciation there. So I personally prefer Cashiavit, says Ladislav. Fair. So you heard him. From now on, guess Inter players. That's the idea. And Crodmo has already guessed ready for the next game, maybe later on. Aaron Winter. It's definitely going to be Aaron Winter. Sahash, thank you very much for the kind words. I will try my best. So Quan supports Barcelona, but just started managing Sandvik in Sweden as an unemployed manager. That sounds fun. Indeed. So Michael Mork is a player I'd really like us to pick up. It's another 2 weeks before Swedish players are released. But he's someone that I think we could play behind the striker. He's got decent passing, he's got decent vision, he's got good movement, he's reasonably quick, he's good in the air as well. He's described as a wide target for it. So he's our number one focus. In fact, let's head to here. This is our squad planner right now. We have a couple of players on loan at the moment that maybe if we can renew them, that'd be great. If not, then we will look. Oh, that's wrong. I don't want Adam Larson there. That should actually be our young lad. Where is Jimmy Slayman, our youth player? Jimmy Slayman, a key part of our plans going forward. There we go. So we have a lot of positions to fill. That attacking midfielder is really one of my priorities, along with left-footed defender if we can get one. So Mork, I hope, can be our main starter in that position. That would be absolutely incredible. So where was I? I do apologise. Vanna, same here. JH Perez is in the Bundesliga. No rules at all. Personally, I feel you need a lot of players to identify someone through data. It does help in some respects. So El Norby supports Diosgior in Hungary, or DVTK in short for you. I think DVTK might be a better attempt than... how far off was I with Diosgior? So yeah, Heston agrees. It certainly helps to have lots of players. Also, I think I need to make it tough on myself. That's fair. So Jim Papa says, if you make wages annually, should have better financial control. No, makes absolutely no difference. I deal with it's all measured the same way. So whether if my wage budget is 11,750 per week, or whether that's 500 and what's that? That's 100. 550, add another 22, or if it's 575k per year, really makes no difference. We're still dealing with things relatively. So, Rich, thank you so much for the Prime subscription. Really appreciated. You only get one of them, and you've been so kind to use it here. It's really appreciated. KLub44 as well. Thank you for the follow. I hope you're doing well. So Deep Vein Thrombosis Club, DVTC. Indeed, that would be a good name. ACAB is in, by the way, guys. Good evening, ACAB. How are you doing? How are you, my man? I hope you're doing well. So Justin Bakker is one of those left-footed centre-backs that we're potentially looking at. He's a defensive midfielder. He's only 6'2". He can't tackle. Not really necessarily good at the defensive side of things, which would probably exclude him. But what we've learned from this save so far is attributes really don't matter. One of our best players, I do apologise for going all over the place here, but I should have started with this, in fact. One of our best players is Daniel Enquist. Daniel Enquist is a truly, truly awful football player. He's kind of okay at running, and he's got some endurance. He can't tackle, he can't pass, he can't control the ball, he can't cross, he can't dribble, he can't shoot, he can't move. But yet, here he is with 0.41 expected assists, 2.02 dribbles, making in the 95th percentile for pressures attempted. He's been absolutely incredible. More importantly, though, is that now that we've identified our decent players, RJ has pointed out, he has a face. I will slowly be updating over the next few weeks the faces of all the teams so that we have our own little personal touch. We've started with the important people. We've got Daniel Enquist. We've got Mohamed Tehi Olawale. Look at that goatee. Look at that goatee. And we have, of course, where is he? Arvid Lundberg. Arvid Lundberg, our amazing 18-year-old target forward. Olawale the GOAT, he is indeed. He is absolutely incredible for us. The man who turned our fortunes around. More importantly, we have a face as well. Gone is the abomination that is the face gen, to be replaced by the abomination that is a badly drawn picture by someone that can't draw. So that's the key point there that we were getting to there is Enquist was amazing for us and he's rubbish, and so I don't mind a little bit of rubbish players every now and then. So a Willie face scan would be fire. It would indeed. Obviously, as I said, we'll be going through the squad. It does take me a little bit of time to do them each, which is why we've only got 3 so far. So Justin Bakker isn't a good player. Isn't a good defender. Has been playing in midfield, but he might well be the player we look to bring in because he can play in midfield as well. So now he's out of contract. Let's see what it's like. Oh no. He wants $2,000 a week. That was over quickly, eh? That was over quickly. So Palmasto is kind of okay. He's really, really good at jumping. He can tackle. Luka Kuitinen, not quite as good aerially, can pass. So actually, I think Palmasto might be. He's inconsistent. That's something for us to be mindful of. There, he's a little bit slow. We do like playing with a higher line, if possible. What does Willie Nunes even look like? Asked Vladislav. No one knows. I'm not sure if even Willie knows what he looks like, because you can't really search up like Willie on Google and get the response to the pictures you were looking for. That's for sure. But you can. It's just it'll be a very, very different type of evening. Now, G&G, good evening. I hope you're doing well. Definitely warrants a shout out, guys. If you're not following Got No Game, absolutely go over and do that. A man with such a beautiful, soothing voice. He is like so worth checking him out when he is around. It's cool. He's nuts. Buonasera, and people are already welcoming G&G. You're all so far ahead of me. I do apologise. So they're finished. I'm leaning more towards Kuitinen because he can pass. We are trying to pass, and because he's got a bit of acceleration. Despite probably being less of a threat at set pieces. We don't have, or have they already found out from his agent? Transfer. I can't discuss it with him. And he is wanted by other clubs. Let's have a look at what we got there. So he doesn't want to be a starter. That's a good sign. Part-time, not so keen on that. 300. We'll remove the increases. We'll try 3 years. 275 seems to have been kind of the minimum we've paid out for full-time players. So let's try full-time again. Wait a second. Are all my players part-time? No, they're full-time. They're full-time. Let's pop back in there. So we'll try that. We'll keep it at 2 years. We'll try it 300 again. There we go. That we have a centre-back for the first team, which will be cool. The other left-footed defender I'd potentially want us to keep an eye on is Frederick Helstrup. He's earning 1,100 a week before his contract expires at the end of December. So I have a feeling that might be like Bakker, a little too far for us. So the other positions we're looking at was Adam Juhi. Adam Juhi, from what I remember, seemed to be playing a little bit higher up. But he's a young player that was on really, really small wages. I'd be happy for us to get him in as an option in rotation. So let's see what we got here. He also wants money. So yeah, 275 euros seems to have been the standard for the bottom wage. So that's what we're kind of working around. A little bit above that, I'm not too sad by. I'm not keen on big yearly wage rises. Like 5% I'd accept, but other than that, not. So we'll keep on trying it. The same deal as before, which is marvellous. So El Nilby says, it's pretty good. We have some weird letters for this foreign people. O, like OE, similar to like in Urzel's name. Right, okay, so it'd be Dierskjo? I've probably got worse. I've probably made it even worse than before. I do apologise. So the quiz says, someone in my class was convinced that you would get pussycats when Googling the former. Oh boy, did he get an explanation problem. That is a good excuse. A very, very good excuse for Googling pussy, for sure. RJ, agentless player. Wow, we've got loads of agentless players in this list from the looks of things. I can understand Queaton. It must be difficult with only 1,200 per month. With part-time, he can work as a cashier at his Aldi. That's fair. That is absolutely fair, especially in Finland, which is quite an expensive place to live. I do remember things being very, very dear when I was out there. Like, that's probably like 10 years ago now. It's only going to have increased. So the other options we had in attacking midfield, Palace was okay. I think there was another guy. Yes, this one, Daniel Rockman. He scored like only a small handful. No, he didn't. He got 1 assist. That's right. But he had 0.30 expected assists per game. So I'd be keen to see what he wants. He wants to be a breakthrough, and then look to retrain him as an attacking midfielder to hopefully back up Mork if we can convince Mork to join. We're still going to ask you to be full time. We're still going to remove those. We're going to do the standard thing: ask for 3 years, accept 2 years, and a little bit more in the appearance period unused. There we go. So that's encouraging as well. The smirk guy indeed. Oh, everyone needs a smirk guy. The second time was worse, but do not worry. I had a feeling it might have been worse, El Norby. I tried. That counts for something, right? Jibril Bojang is a player I want as well. Jibril Bojang, definitely a player I want. So as a striker, he's not that good. We don't know 100% where he's been playing, but that looks like a winger. We don't use wingers. But again, a candidate to be retrained as an attacking midfielder. I don't think we would be doing wrong with overloading in those positions if we can. So his contract as well is really good, wasn't it? Yeah, it's 300 per week. Can we? Let's see what his agent says. If we can offer now that we've got something. He would like really, really big wages. Ah, bugger. He would be willing to drop that by 200. That's not going to happen. That is absolutely not going to happen. That's a shame. Jibril Bojang was looking good. And then strikers, we had a couple of options. Jakob Hjelta here didn't play enough, so we don't really know much about him. But he looks to be like a good alternative to Lundberg. Like, from an attribute standpoint, he looks okay. And then we've got Nicholas Mortensen, who didn't score that much. Only 1 in 4 as a target forward, but looks to be perhaps like playing at Trelleborg. That's a much higher standard. He doesn't win his headers. He's 5'11". No, I don't want Nicholas Mortensen. Why is Nicholas Mortensen on here? Get out of here. And then fullbacks. Jussi Niska has been released. So him backing up Enqvist would be cool, and he could play a little bit higher. So if we do go to a formation that needs more, we can. Just slightly interested. €450 a week. Drop it a bit? Yeah, I'm happy to go with that. No, I'm not. You need to accept being a squad player going up to regular starter this following season. Not going to happen. We will keep doing this. Even if they turn around and say, no, I'd much rather. There we go. We can walk away. Thank you for your time, Yussi. So Arsenal corners are meta. They'll use them until it's patched. Indeed, isn't it good to see a top team embrace the way of Stoke? That's what we've all wanted to see, really. Hello, Musterman. Yussi looks nice. Hungdam Min, lovely to have you in. I hope you're doing well. It must be said that on a Friday night, I do like spending my time looking at Yussi. You are right. You are definitely right. Oh, that made me feel unclean just saying that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. ACAB, the minimum salary in Finland is around €1,370. Indeed. And here we are forcing them to be full-time. It's slave labour going on in Mariehamn. This is not a good look on us for sure. Engelbrechtsen, that's a good name. That is a good name. He's very, very injury prone, and he really can't defend. So that's a no anyway. And then Anderson, I think, would play everywhere, couldn't he? Anderson is experienced, can play everywhere. His starting wage is already a little bit on the higher side, so we'll wait for him to expire if possible. His contract to expire. Only if we can get him cheap because of the lack of big matches and injury proneness. On the right, we did have some options, didn't we? Had Gustav Thorn. He's injury prone, is he? No, he's just very one-footed. Gustav Thorn, we'll keep an eye on that as it develops. Yuhi we've done. What was the deal with Kellgren? Kellgren, he's a smiley chappy. He didn't play much. And then Uranera. Uranera was a player that looked really cool, didn't he? I seem to remember he split his time between... Yeah, he could do both. And that's one we need to wait until January for. Do we have any of the midfield slots that we've missed? That's where Mork was. Okay. Goalkeepers. Both of them are still under contract. Both have high wages. So we'll see how we get on with those. See what impact that makes. We do probably before the January transfer window opens. So probably like a week or two before, we want to offer out Jaden Reed. Stevenage are interested, but I don't want to scare them off while they're not interested. Oh, I also spoke to guys about contracts. Brighton wants pay rise of €400 per week, and I think we do that. He really is a star player for us. We're going to struggle to extend contracts. Everyone else wanted over £1,000. So let's see here. Yearly wage rise, gone. Wage, let's try around 700. Minimum fee release clause at 470k. I'm fine with that. Can I lock it at 475? I can't. Remove and exclude. Try that down at 750. There we go. A 4-year contract for our star centre back would be huge. Absolutely huge. So G&G says Tony Pulis was ahead of the game. He was. He knew what was coming. He knew it. I mean, you can also say that Thomas Frank was as well, because I think it was Thomas Frank who originally hired Nicholas Jova at Brentford. So, like, ultimately, he knew what he was doing. Viking it is, says DM Bassist. So it is a career starting at Viking Stavanger, a fine choice. Lumi over on YouTube, good evening. How are you, sir? I hope you're doing well. So, don't care about Robin Sid. I do care about him getting better at positioning. I do care about him getting better there. Not really that important to give a trait to a goalkeeper. Yeah, I'd love to give these guys new contracts. They all want quite high, so we're going to have to play a little bit of chicken with them. Nunez will go on the loan list. That's going to happen anyway. That's probably going to happen in due course if we can be successful playing chicken, that is. Players up to the reserve squad, sure, do it. Cool. Look at that progress. Right, and there's definitely the next one getting a thing. So, Finnish, Swedish. Does Okuriki speak at least one of the official languages? He speaks Swedish, he speaks basic Finnish. That's fine. Here we go. He speaks good Swedish. That's fine. As long as there is a way that they can talk to people here, that's absolutely fine. Speaks Finnish, doesn't speak Swedish. I'm not going to waste money on courses when they can already communicate. High potential, that's cool. Let's see. No, none of this. None of this. There we go. So, where was I? I do apologise. Tony Pulis and his legacy. At least Man United only conceded 2 goals from 13 corners that day. Small victories. Arsenal will win the league with corners only. Well, so I think we'll find, there's an article on the BBC website about it right now. So 25% of Arsenal's goals have come from corners. I think that might be since the start of last season, which is pretty impressive. Everton, 50% of their goals have come from corners, which sounds like it's more impressive until you realise that Everton have only scored 2 goals this season. So, it's never quite as straightforward as that. We also offered Okereke a new contract up at 400, so that's okay there. Wrighton signs his deal, that's marvellous. We are going to run out of money soon, and then we'll start looking towards the loan market. As I say, we're keeping back, hopefully, to bring in Mork as well. And if we get the release clause for Wrighton, then that'd be great. 500,000 euros, absolutely incredible stuff. So RJ says, we just need a big brain manager to come up with a defensive routine to counter it, and it's going to disappear. Man marking, I'm pretty sure that man marking is all you need to do. I know that simplifies it. Ultimately, with the man marking system, the attackers have the advantage because they know where the ball's going to be delivered, or at least where the ball is meant to be delivered. We've got a new under-20 coach. It's this man. Cool. Big Sam should have some credit too. Started doing more in-swingers based on analytics. Absolutely, Fez. Absolutely. So what kind of language courses do they give in Finland? 30k. Education is expensive, RJ. Education is expensive for sure. Our technical director, I would be happy if you don't renew him. It seems like, in fact, let's take over that. Staff, hiring, and fire. Oh, I am in charge of the director. Perfect. We don't need a director. We've already got a director of football. That's fine. Musterman, well done. That's the joke I would have made too. Fair enough. So Jim, speaking previously about best league to start, I speak on the hardest. Japan, with strict transfer rules, have to work mostly with Japanese, much less foreign to use. Hard indeed. A good suggestion. But as Kvez says, that they do have a good youth rating. Ladislav says Arsenal set pieces has nothing on Chelsea's. Oh, that's a bold claim. So Daniel Rookman as our backup attacking midfielder. Happy with that. That's one. He is Finnish, so he can speak Finnish. We don't need to do anything in that regard. Let's get him to settle in. That would be cool. And we've got Queetonen arriving as well. That's another 300 euros a week. So we welcome him too. Queetonen, from the suggestions, already speaks Swedish. He does indeed. Has he spent time with us before? He hasn't. A Sal Pal Salo player previously. We need a Nicholas Jova Musterman. We do need a Nicholas Jova Musterman. That would be fun, wouldn't it? And then Adam Yuhi. So that's 900 on signings. Let's welcome him there. And that means for the squad planner right now, I see Yuhi being the more attacking one because he can't really do many of those bits. So that is on that side. At the moment, Queetonen is potentially he's not left-footed, but potentially our defence is Machado. Reitinen, Kuitunen. And then he isn't for this position. That belongs to a player that can't play there at all. That is, where is he? Is he not considered as a midfielder? Am I being stupid? I am being stupid. Rockman has been put into the reserves, so that seems to explain that one. Okay, I'm not being stupid. That's okay. Well, I might be, but who knows? So Rockman comes in there, and we will change his training accordingly as well. So attacking midfielder, centre. That's the position we're probably going to play around with most in pre-season as well, in terms of trying out different tactical setups too. We need a smirk emote now. That seems fair. That seems fair. If we can get a smirk for Rockman, that'd be cool. Mustermann splashes the cash. We do indeed. This is a big spending spree. We're giving loads of players below the minimum wage in Finland because we're feeling rich today. George Western says hello over on YouTube. Good evening, George. How are you? If you want to chat, please do let us know who you support, who you're playing with as a FM. We'd love to hear from you. Kwan says, I started in Japan on an old save. I felt so uncomfortable playing with 2 5'7" centre-backs. That's fair. That is fair. But it does mean that all you need to do is find big strikers. And so Emil Palace has been approached by Miper. We decided against it. We've got a backup in that position. We've got our eyes on Mork, so we'll let that one pass. George F on 69. Hello, Mustermann. I came over to Twitch. Good evening, George. Welcome along. Now, I try as much as possible to make the experience the same on both Twitch and YouTube, but Twitch does have the commands. It is a little bit ahead of the other streams, so I don't blame you for coming over onto this side. I hope you're doing well. Mr. Tuna Fish is in. Good evening, sir. How are you? Supporters and media thinking you robbed someone or won the lottery. Indeed, this is some crazy spending going on. Our loans are going to end soon, so we will see. I would love to have. Benson scored some goals and generally quite good, but I'd like to see if we could extend Koskopalo, because he plays on the right and can play on the left as a defender left rather than wing back left. But that's enough for me to consider as flexible. It'd be quite nice for us to have that kind of cover across both sides. Can I choose none? Why can't I choose none selected? Oh, I can. It's just highlighted. Swap that down to squad player, see if they will. They don't want to loan him back to us. Okay. That's a shame. Honkler scored twice. Granted, one of them was a penalty. The other was an equaliser in the final. So that's certainly valuable. I suppose, though, like, he's just standing in the way of our unambitious legend, Jimmy Slayman. So we can leave that for now. I'm fine with that. And yeah, Benson, maybe not worry too much about renewing there. So ACAB, what are the expectations from the board for this season? So they want us challenging for qualification in Europe. So current season, obviously next season, work towards qualifying for the Europa Conference League. So not even necessarily making it. So probably around the same as what we've done this season, around 6th or 7th. And then in year 3 for us to qualify for it. Then best of the rest and continue. So it's a slow ambition, but they do want us up towards the top of the league, which is something at least. And this is our board. Our board is almost as large as our playing squad, which says more about the size of our playing squad than it does about the board, to be fair. Not to spend all the money within 5 minutes. Indeed, they prefer me to be considered. They have told me off for the. Actually, let's go back to this. In fact, so actionable objectives. They want us to work within the wage budget. They want us to grow the club's reputation. Pretty straightforward. they weren't happy with me before as we were over, but like we were over when we started the game. We needed to reinforce. So there we go. None of these players are interested in extension, so that solves that dilemma. I split my attention for Atlanta AC Milan. What's the score in the game? Do let us know, RJ. So aiming for top 3 this season, absolutely. I would love for us to be able to make a no, I'm not interested in reopening talks with you. I'd love for us to make a proper league title push. We were only 2 points off second or something like that, which is incredible. Was it 2 points off second? Yeah, 2 points off second. So I do feel like we should be able to push on, especially when we've got a little bit more control over the playing squad by that point. So you can go. Adam Larson is due to expire in a year. So I don't mind us running down Adam Larson's contract. It's low. He's not got much sell-on value. So he can be a backup. That's fine. That's not my responsibility. Right, offers are coming in for Dejan Guraka. He was the worst of the two from what I recall. So I remember he was conceding more than expected, but like only marginally. The goalkeeper we're more interested in was Marcus Freud. Marcus Freud was the one conceding more than expected. So Garakas. We'll go with Garacha. Who knows? He is injury prone. Let's see what he wants. Oh, has he just signed a new contract in that time? He has indeed. It's extended by a year. Am I being dumb? He's just moved. What? They offered him a contract and he moved immediately. Wow. That seems unfair. Okay. You learn something new. So Freud is being released today. That will be our option from the looks of things. So it's 0-0 after 2 minutes. Sounds boring. Switch it off, says Quadmo. Indeed. So George says, your MustermannFM, how would you spend all the money in 5 minutes? You find cheap bargains that money would last at least 1 hour. Indeed. Well, you see, we're really, really frugal so that we can then spend it on alcohol and prostitutes. So we don't gain anything really great from spending the money. We do still have 953 euros per week. We want a goalkeeper. We want that attacking midfielder. Have we got any interest coming in for... Oh, Leo Anderson. We might extend him if we can. We've got some interest. It's loan interest for Patoot. That's no good. Jaden Reed's interest has actually dried up. Let's see what this does. That does nothing. Robin Sid can get an offer of nothing. Let's invite them to make an offer. So the Icelandic side, they are amateur, I'm guessing. They're semi-professional. We want 160k, or 160k is his asking price. His transfer value is higher than that, to be fair. We will let them offer, see if maybe that gets some other teams offering, and we can maybe start pushing up the asking price in a little bit of a bidding war if we're lucky. Otherwise, we just reject it outright. Nothing coming there. And we'll wait until we've got the goalkeeper sorted before transfer listing Weekenden. We would like some money. We would like some actual transfer fee if possible. That would essentially, selling a couple of them will bankroll us for most of the year. Marcus Freud is better than Sigmund Freud. Indeed. One good chance for each team already. That's good. So KW says, I can't use your skin. Look too hard to adapt with the stats to make a decent lineup. Any tip or video? Well, I would say go and check out the VODs of this series. probably the best thing. Come on over to Twitch. After the stream is over, you can come on over. You can, sorry, not on Twitch, on YouTube. Check out the live tab. That's just how I play. You can see that we pay attention to the attributes, but we just have a little bit less detail about which attributes are good or not. We know roughly where they're at, and that's enough information to start making judgments. That's essentially it. It really is as simple as look at the information, make some judgments, trust your gut, watch the players play. If the player plays bad, swap in another player and keep on going until you find something that fits. Right, so the loans have all finished. We're now 1 million euros in debt. That's not going to stop my spending. Oh, now that's cheeky. That's cheeky. They don't just want us to sell him for nothing, but they also want us to pay more than 2/3 of his wages. Disgraceful. RJ, just misspell Patoot's name to attract team. That would work. That would be the nice thing. Oh, how much would someone offer for Emmanuel Petit to play nowadays? A good question, perhaps. Musterman Iconic is goated, so is Musterman himself, says George. That's very kind, thank you. I'm just a weirdo on the internet. So, any of these players that we've got are any information on? So we are relying on the players that our scouts who have been sacked have added to a list. None of these guys were mentioned. Almeida, a Brazilian goalkeeper, that would be fun. Right, okay, so there's an ad coming in about 5 seconds, so I'm going to see you in about 3 minutes where we'll be playing Only Connect. Yeah, that was a quick segue. And we're back. And I've started to notice that the neighbour is cooking something that smells absolutely amazing. So I'm hoping that over the course of this stream, they'll maybe come round for no apparent reason and offer me some. It smells incredible here. Like, I am so hungry all of a sudden. So DM Basis said, yes, but you're our weirdo, and thank you so much. This is what ultimately all it is us weirdos, we need to feel like we belong, and it's lovely having you guys along to indulge my weirdness. And the quiz suggests to KW to play without any attributes at all. Cross your fingers and scream at the players for being bad. That's what I like the sound of. De Ketelaere has scored. Interesting. A little bit of Belgian representation there for you, RJ. George suggests that I'm putting alcohol in that glass. That could be a plausibility. Now, for all the jokes, I don't really drink that often. I like maybe New Year's Eve I'll have a couple. Maybe when there's like a weekend where everyone has their birthday all at the same times, I'll usually indulge a little bit then. But otherwise, I'd rather a glass of milk and a nice early evening. I'm definitely getting old. So Freddie Adu it is, says ACAB. There we go, ACAB, we've missed you. Quadmo weirdos, speak of his... I see what you mean. Indeed. Okay, so we're going to be playing a round of Only Connect. For those who are new to the stream or don't know what this is a game show on British TV during the daytime where your job is to work out the connection between a series of images. We're going to be showing you pictures of 4 different players. They have a common connection, and your job is to work out who it is by guessing. That's a bad sentence. That's a bad sentence completely. You will see one player at a time. The earlier you guess, the more points you get. So the first player probably won't know what it is. The second player, you'll start to be able to pull those threads together. Maybe by the third or the fourth, you'll get it. But once we get a correct guess, that's the round over. Let's head on into it and see if any of you guys can recognise arguably one of the most iconic haircuts in all of football. Adam is in. Welcome back. How are you, sir? It's lovely to have you in now. I did say hello earlier, but a little bit late. So it's Saturday tomorrow. Enjoy yourself and have a late night. That is a fair argument. So Crodmo, they all started at La Masia or played for Barcelona B with a guess before we even got a reveal. They've all played alongside Freddie Adu. That is also quite nice. They all played in Serie A, says Kwam. There's another good possibility. And we've got some guesses coming in. It's Baggio, Roberto Baggio. Acamp's gone for Di Baggio. Interesting. Evening. Mr. Penalty in a World Cup final, suggests Ladislav. It's not, but that's a fantastic guess. That is a fantastic guess. And Danny has come in with the same. They all missed the deciding penalty in a World Cup. They're all a poor man's Fabrizio Ravanelli, suggests DM Bassist. That's a bold take. Have they all got ponytails? Is Seaman next? Jim Papas has also guessed they've all got ponytails. Or they all have long hair. Well, let's see. Who's the next player? There is a man bun. There is a man bun on this person. It's not that they all have long hair, but there is a man bun. I said the word man bun too often. How is this person a poor man's Fabrizio Ravanelli? I think that's fair. Ravanelli was incredible. Bold but not incorrect, says DM Bassist. I'm afraid to say it was incorrect, but only because everyone knows that this player is definitely better. He's not better than Fabrizio Ravanelli. Ravanelli was iconic. Ravanelli translates as radishes, for your information. My word, that's a good name. Fabrizio Radish. So JH Quez has said, have they changed haircut after moving clubs? That is an interesting guess. That's not the case. It's not the case, I'm afraid. That would be quite a fun one to try and research. ACAB asks, which golf player is this? Indeed, you know who it is. You know who it is. That's good. I mean, it might help in case someone in chat doesn't know who it is. By all means, pop it into the chat. Could be helpful. Darth Joel guesses that they're all Italians that played for Madrid. an interesting guess. Obviously, there is a little bit of a delay there, as this person is not Italian, but yes, I see what you're going with. All surnames start with B, says Ladislav. It is not, but they do so far. Does the next one start with a B? And I'm asking that question genuinely because I can't remember who the next player is. That's the next player. Does his surname start with a B? Does he have a surname? Who knows? RJ says Pato. Quadmo says Kaka. Kaka it is. It is indeed Kaka. The glorious, the wonderful, wonderful Kaka. So Jim Papa says they changed the initial position during career. That's an interesting guess. That is an interesting guess. It's not that, I'm afraid. Balkan FM suggests midfielders. George has gone for the same hair colour. Crablongs has gone for left-footed. And Danny 1981 has gone for all Ballon d'Or winners. Now, I can tell you, because obviously I know the connection. I know the next player in the list. I know that the next player on the list is going to change all of your... It's going to disprove, unfortunately, all of them. But the last person isn't a midfielder. They don't have the same colour hair. They're not left-footed. I don't think they ever won a Ballon d'Or. So they're all very, very good guesses, but we can't quite get that. So George has said they all play for Real Madrid. Unfortunately not. So we did have a guess for Italians who played for Real Madrid earlier. And unfortunately, even though we have some non-Italians in there now, it wasn't a Real Madrid connection. So Papas has gone for good dribbler. They are good dribblers, that's for sure. It's a very, very hard thing to quantify for a connection. So Danny has gone for have they all scored a hat-trick against Inter Milan? I'm afraid to say it's not. Let's reveal the next one and see if that helps at all in any way whatsoever. Oh, I've kicked off the widget. There we go. Have they? So they didn't retire in MLS. They didn't retire in MLS, RJ. Good callback though. Good callback. Are they icons on FC25? That's I genuinely don't know. I've not played a FIFA or FC game for many they are all very good players, so I can imagine they might well be. Are they all captains? That is a fair guess. I assume they've all captained their club at the same time. But Adam has noticed that Crodmo has beat him to the answer. All world record transfer fees. It is indeed Crodmo coming in at the end for 1 point. They all broke the transfer record when they were signed. So Roberto Baggio for 8 million to Juventus in 1990. Gareth Bale for 86 million to Real Madrid in 2013. That broke the previous record. That was 56 million to Real Madrid in 2009 for Kaka. And back in 1996, some humble lad named Alan Shearer moved to Newcastle for 15 million euros. So very, very, very well done to Crodmo. And Krez came in with record transfer fees as well, indeed. Fabulous guess. All golden boot winners of their league, said Danny. That was a good guess as well. DM Bassist, can we just take a quick second to talk about how good they all are, though? They are good. I mean, that's why they broke transfer records. They were all incredible players. Oh, Crablugs was going for Ancelotti, but yes, you're right, Shearer didn't play for him. Struble indeed. Struble has come in and they all broke the transfer record, and Ladislav acknowledging that. 8 million. Nowadays it's a bad under 16-year-old indeed. Back then though, 8 million was a lot of, I mean, 8 million is still a lot of money. If somebody would like to give me 8 million, I'll take it in euros, I'll take it in pounds, I'll take it in dollars, I'll take it in rupees, to be honest. I'll probably accept 8 million in any currency. So there's big money back then. 8 million before Bosman. Fascinating indeed. I want to know what 8 million was in lira at that point. That's a good question. That is a good question. I don't know, unfortunately. But certainly we've translated this to pounds, so that must have been a lot of lira. I seem to recall briefly that lira was like a really like big multiples when converting. So where were we? We were looking through players. None of them really seemed that interesting to me in the end. Had a quick a quick look at Almeida's history last season. Conceded a lot of goals, and none of the other players we knew. So let's move on. So I just remember that I think Lears was like thousands or hundreds. Yeah, indeed. So Crudmo has used a site, and £8 million is 18,690,267,000 Italian lira. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Just go sit on the bench in NBA. 8 million is salary for a non-playing player. That's like, I'd love that. I would absolutely love that. Let me be the well, actually Sam Merrill is now playing for the Cavs, who doesn't get game time. Let me be Tristan Thompson. I would quite happily be, and Tristan Thompson is an awful human being. But for 8 million a year, I would happily be an awful human being. I wouldn't. What have we got there? Some reports there. Code of conduct. We'll let our assistant manager do the deeds there. Did we arrange friendlies? We did arrange friendlies. So we've got some friendlies in December and early January. Mainly against lower league clubs, and a couple of slightly bigger fixtures in there as well. We've got a Tampere United, FC Jazz, Musan Salama and Sao Paulo away, and then we've invited Hansa Rostock and Cercle Bruges. They're the big opponents we're going to play. That should generate not great deals of money, but some. So they've offered a fee this time, 375. So if he's normally paid 75 euros above that a week over 4 weeks, that's 300. They're offering us 75 euros a week, overpaying 100% of his wages. 75 euros a month, sorry. And no future fee. No future fee whatsoever. That is a no. But hopefully as we get closer to December and the European markets open, maybe we can get something a little bit more substantial for some of these players. George, so can I have a look at the tactics, or did you post them on Discord? So the tactics are available for Patreons. They're all in a shared folder, everything there. But otherwise, what we're running with is this 3-4-1-2. It's pretty basic. We play slightly narrow, we play slightly shorter. We occasionally move. We actually sit here, but we do occasionally move the tempo up when we need to. We sometimes go a little bit more direct when we need to. In transition, we counter press, that's it. Out of possession, we dropped into a mid block, high defense line, press quite a lot, trap inside where all the bodies are. We have a stopper just to stop us being passive. They're encouraged to sit out this way a little bit more. Then 2 central defenders, 2 wing backs on either flank, no instructions. Dahlstrom as defensive midfielder, no instructions. Ball-wing midfielder, no instructions. Target forward, no instructions. Advance forward, no instructions. Attacking midfielder with kind of the instructions of a trequartista, but it's not quite working out, so that's what we're going to be playing around with during pre-season, seeing if we can get a bit more of a tune out of that role. Right, we have some... Where are these scout reports coming from? I've told you to stop. There we go. We'll just have to accept that they keep on going. 1-1 Morata, by the way. Ooh, that's spicy now. So Jim Papas, I believe that Lentini has the transfer record of 14 euros in 1992. I guess it was a little bit higher than 14 euros. But certainly when I looked up I looked all the way up, so we have all the transfer records that were broken back when. So no, I don't know what it would be in euros, but Alan Shearer transferred just after Ronaldo, and I think Ronaldo was something like 12.6 million, and then that record got shattered almost immediately. So depending on what 12.6 million would have been, that was 96. So Lentini must have been somewhere beneath that, but when you convert that to euros, yeah. Maths is hard. Maths is definitely hard. Man, Atlanta versus AC Milan is tough. George F asks, weekly nonsense. Yes, that's I think the best way I can describe my my YouTube. There's a lot of silliness in there. Unfortunately, because of my voice this week, it did mean that the episode went out without my dribbling song. I have a special dribbling song written that I need to record. A country-esque ballad about dribbling. Definitely be fun. I mean, good, definitely not, but fun for sure. Right, Dalston will miss pre-season. That's a little bit of a bugger. That is a little bit of a bugger. Have I unticked keep scout reports up to date in the shortlist tab? I have, DMB. So we have a look there. That has been unticked. Like the scouting budget hasn't changed since we last looked at it. So maybe if they're still able to get us some results and spend no money, maybe just watch some videos, then maybe it's okay. But yeah, it does seem that he needs to be doing something. Otherwise he feels a little bit idle. Lentini broke the transfer record in 92, but Shearer broke that in 96. Lentini was about 13 million UK pounds. So how much was Ronaldo then? The other 90. So obviously we have Baggio was in 1990 and that was 8 million. And then it moved up. I thought that Ronaldo was less than that fee for Lentini, but again, like conversion rates and all those kind of things makes it really, really difficult. We don't have to pay any tax because we have no money in our accounts. Amazing. And even more amazing is the arrival of Brazilian Fury. Good evening, Chris. How are you, sir? I hope you are doing well. Now, guys, I imagine a fair few of you already follow Brazilian Fury, but if you don't, go on over and give him a follow. Head on over to his YouTube as well. An absolutely amazing creator. Just such a lovely gentleman. Some really, really fun stuff. And if you go and watch his most recent videos, where he's approaching the telling of the career in a much more like interesting and novel fashion. I don't want to give away too much, but it's just such a lovely presentation style, completely different to what you've probably seen at all with FM. Really, really worth checking out. Thank you very much for the follow, George F. I hope you. I really, really do appreciate that. So, Bon dear, meant for Platter. Sorry, where have I missed that? Platter is amazing. Well, sorry, Ladislav, I am a little bit behind. What do you mean by meant for Platter? If you're just generally talking about Gonzalo Platter is my new hero. Lentini never did the promising career because of his head. That's a fair claim. RJ, your scouts play FM and recommend players like that. More power to them. Absolutely more power to them. Ronaldo to Barcelona in 96 was about 12.6. Ronaldo to Inter was 18 million, I think. Fair. So, Rich, in real life, Burnley 0, Borough 1 is the latest score. Ooh, who scored for Borough then? Who scored for Borough? That's cool. Things are fine. Editing's going to be starting tonight for that second episode of it. Just got the final recorded lines I need. Marvelous stuff. That is definitely going to be worth watching when it comes out. I feel like I'm missing some the dribble song for Platter. Yes, the dribble song. Well, the dribble song was more an ode to dribbly boys altogether, but it would have been talking about Platter indeed. Thank you, Scout, for not having to pay taxes. Yes, definitely. Adam is in. Good evening, Adam. How are you, sir? I am doing good. My voice is repairing. Aston Villa have won a game. Everything is generally quite positive. How are you, sir? I hope you are doing well. How did your stream go earlier as well? Oh, wait a second. I thought you were streaming this evening. Why are you here, Traction? Obviously, there's never any pressure to stream, and whatever reason you're not, that's cool. But guys, do go and give some love to Traction FM, a true gentleman of the content creating community. ACAB, will we have problems with the squad registration for the Conference League? We shouldn't do. So, we might not be able to. I don't expect that we're going to have a 25-man squad, so in that respect, we don't have to worry. Oh, there isn't a registration there. We can do this from the squad planner. So, you guys, we can't at this resolution, can we? So we can't change this. Right. Let's do this from here. Homegrown status. So we have 1, 2. Nope, he's not on a contract right now. 3, 4, 5. We have 5 players trained at club. We have plenty trained in nation. So we should be absolutely fine in that regards. Whereabouts are we on the leaderboard? 1,308. We are just ahead of Piri 20, who scored 500 points fewer than Mariehamn, who beats us for Mariehamn. Here we've got a few already. Are there anyone near the top with Mariehamn? Who we have? Simon Sid 89 is what we've got to keep our eye out for. 2 million points. I have never once actually paid attention to the leaderboard. I probably never would if I wasn't on stream at this very, very moment. So they expect us to finish bottom of the league in the Liga Cup. Does improving this change anything? We could get an extra 90 euros per week, but we don't need that. We don't need that. That's absolutely fine. Dyke Steel. Okay. What's happened then? What's happened, RJ? Brazilian Fury. And of course, for those here, the Mustermann skin will feature through the whole save with colour variations for each of those teams I take over. Indeed. And the little tweaks you've made for the colour schemes, absolutely beautiful stuff. Good. I'm glad you're well. Simply put, I'm shattered. Don't go into financial services, kids. Far too stressful. That is a very, very good reason to not stream. I must say. I hope you have a lovely, lovely, relaxing evening. It's the weekend now, so hopefully a chance to decompress. Maybe just relax and enjoy whatever the weekend has in store, and then hopefully maybe like win the lottery so you don't have to go back on Monday. Crudmo scratches off. So, a second. You're going to turn into Man City and break 116 financial fair play rules, are you? That's the plan. That's the plan. Let's see if we can do that. So we've now got an under-20s team. They've entered a competition, which is marvellous. We have some players. That's cool. We've got those pay rises that we knew about. They're kind of minus. That does bring us down to 800 available. Oh, have we been late on the Mork front, or is that December? He was December as well. We need to keep an eye on Mork and Mindy. The most important transfer, potentially the one who's going to tie everything together for us. Well, that's the hope, at least. Sticking with e-commerce, I should imagine. Where does that leave your current options, indeed? So, I mean, none of them sound particularly fun. Slich, man, you should have buried your shot. Had to add some context, guys. What's happened? Like a really, really bad miss, or just kind of they're having chances not doing it. Ease off tackles is in. Played is annoyed at me for not reaching the latter stages of Europa League. He missed the penalty that meant we got knocked out. That is typical. That is typical. How are you feeling after last night's result? Ease off tackles. A great win. You use Wemod to do that. Gives you more budget. WeMod. Right, yeah, George, I don't do any of that nonsense. I don't do any of that. We play and we deal with the challenges as they come. Even if sometimes they seem like they're illogical. That's part of the fun. There's no real point if you're going to play attributeless for an added challenge if you're then going to make some tweaks elsewhere. I don't want another meeting whatsoever. I'm bored of your meetings, guys. Daniel Barlaser found that Dyke still in the box. He spotted goalkeeper James Trafford off his line and chipped the ball into the net. What a cheeky lob. Nice. That does sound like a goal worth checking out. No interest, and I gave him a deal at the start of the season. He's one of my team leaders in the hierarchy. That makes it even worse. I suppose if we try and rationalise the nonsense that goes on with the player logic, I guess he can kind of be angry at you for setting up the team to not win in normal time, maybe. DMB says 10 minutes into my first competitive game in charge, and you're winning 2-0 against Rosenborg. Until it inevitably goes tits up, get it right up, you Rosenborg. What a fantastic start, my word. So, Quadro, yep, talking about, I don't need to read out the stuff about jobs, I don't think so. George, oh, that's no fun. I'm sorry. I'm very satisfied with the result, says ease off tackles. Now just the simple task of Arsenal and their prime Stoke regens on Sunday. Like, but it's a free hit, isn't it? Like, you know that if you're playing Arsenal, you kind of accept that you're going to lose, and anything else is a bonus. I sometimes feel a little bit more relieved when there's games that, like, the disappointment of losing or drawing against the team you should beat, or the team that maybe are better than you, but you feel like you've got a chance, and then you get absolutely steamrolled. Yeah, I love the games against the bigger teams than us. As a Villa fan, like the Arsenal games, the United games, the Liverpool games, because ultimately I expect to lose, so I can't be annoyed by the result at the end of it all. Right, our first friendly is coming up. Let's see what we've got going on here. We have a defender in... who was the defender we signed? Where's the defender we signed? Is he in the reserves or something? So, okay, both of these players have been moved down. Let's move these guys back up. That is Queetonen. At right wing back, we want our Ajala. Ajala at right wing back. Juhi will come in there. Fonsell as the ball winner. The wonderful, wonderful Enquist. Rockman with a start behind the striker. Lundberg is on the bench there. So what we're thinking, maybe we just keep it really, really straightforward and we start just with a plain attacking midfielder. What we want is someone who's going to get beyond the target forward and attack the box and be the secondary or tertiary goal threat. Our bench will be Edland. We've got a centre back. We've got a right back. We've got defence midfielder, left back, attacking midfielder, 2 strikers. These guys have been moved to the reserves as expected, so that's just Berlin. We still need a backup defenders. We've got 1 backup defender. Can any of these other guys play in defence? Oh, so we've got Akereke and Lofgren. That's okay. Robin Stead is on the bench there. So we're okay for defenders there. We aren't okay for left back cover, so Alan Strom will make the bench as well. And then Stefan Blard. Like we went through last stream which of the players that are in our senior squad are the ones that might actually contribute during the course of the season. The rest of them are just bodies to make up the numbers for the friendly. We'll split it 50-50. We are going to watch the game because I really, really want to see what's going on with the attacking midfielder. But yeah, we'll split it 50-50 at half time, sub them all off. We are gonna mix and match the teams as well. So there we go. Let him be grumpy, he'll get over it eventually. What a tosser. That's genuinely fair advice with player interactions on Football Manager. One of the elements that I will say is that I don't mind players getting miffed, and I'm quite happy to ignore them. Unless it's Jaden Reed getting upset at me because he couldn't learn Swedish. Fuck Jaden Reed. So, I realised there is an NFL wide receiver called Jaden Reed. He is in my fantasy football team. And he's picked up some big points for me relatively recently. He's been a decent acquisition. I realised only like the other day that actually, yeah, Jaden Reed, he shares his name. He's great, brilliant. I put American football Jaden Reed in my fantasy team last night, and he scored 0 points. So fuck Jaden Reed, both of them. Right, so these, we're just going to basically pick some of these guys at random to rotate a bit here. Slayman we want as a deep lying forward when he plays. Let's put Lofgren in, and let's not put Edlund behind the young lad. Let's go with that. That should be okay, I'm sure. So they're asking Traction if he's the guy that created FM on Excel. That is a fun thing. So that's what the guy does. I don't know if you've seen if you've seen the video. So there's a guy who has created a football management game inside Excel. Released a video a couple of days ago. Really, really good. Go look it up on YouTube. I'll see if I can look it up after this stream and pop a link in Discord if you haven't seen it. But that's what the guy's channel is. He's created like platformers inside Excel. He's created battle royales inside Excel. A whole load of different genres of games. Really, really worth checking out. Some fantastic and really interesting videos out there. Jim Papa says, before I go to sleep, I feel the need to say that this man that we're watching has the best soul. Take all of you out there. Thank you very much, Jim. Much appreciated. I hope you have a good. I assume you might have already gone. I do apologise for that. I hope you have a good evening, good night's rest. I hope that tomorrow morning goes well. We certainly got sold the dream, didn't we? Take me back. No bills, no responsibilities, and all the recess and Ed and Eddie I can get my hands on. That there is a man reminiscing. I'm expecting Crudmo to say something along the lines of not knowing any of those references because of how old he is. I'm aware of Recess and Ed and Eddie, but I was a little too young for them, a little too old for them, I think. Give me a little bit. What was? So Power Rangers was pretty big, I suppose. On Channel 4, Saved by the Bell. Can't really think of the cartoons. I just remember Trapdoor, and Trapdoor was well before my time anyway. It's an amazing, amazing show though. So, RJ says, you're already playing competitive matches. I would still be choosing the leagues to load. That is fair. DM Basis doesn't waste any time. Neither does Slayman on its debut. It's a friendly. Can it really be called a debut? George, that'll be me as a Man United fan. We got City next, I think. Yeah, like it's completely a free hit. There's no pressure as a result of that. No, the thing is, we'll do well for the first 70 minutes, and we'll concede a corner, and I'll be in a strop for the next week until we play Liverpool away. That's fair. At least you've got a nice, easy game against Liverpool to recover. My chat thing is skipping all over the place. I do apologise. Thank you for the follow, by the way. Ease Off Tackles. Yes, go give Ease Off Tackles a follow as well. I haven't managed to catch you yet, and I can't spell shout out. There we go. So I will be completely honest now. When I shout people out and I will make recommendations and I'll talk about things they've done, it's because I do generally watch their streams. I must confess, I haven't seen Ease Off Tackles yet. I know he's a daytime streamer, but go show him some love. If you guys are around during the daytime, go check him out. Report back. Hopefully, more importantly, I'll be in there too. Poking my nose in. Yonsa is in. Good evening, Yonsa. How are you, sir? Kwan says, who you'll got in the set piece battle between today's Arsenal and Prime Stoke? It's got to be Prime Stoke, because like they had the throw-ins as well. They had Rory Delap. You know, that's an extra wrinkle. DM Base says, I tend to play quite quickly, but I have a couple of pre-saved game setups. I think this one has about 50 to 60 nations. Wow. That is quite a meaty setup. First transfer window off, tactics done, holiday through a chunk of the preseason. That makes sense. Way too fast for RJ though. That's understandable. ADHD and general impatience. Let's go. Does he still not speak Swedish? Jaden Reed does not speak Swedish. We refused to send him on a course after he failed the first one. So yeah. that's the end of it. Oh, look at Ryson failing the header, passing in to make it 1-0. Not quite happening. Had a wonder kid tell me he was assessing his options. I'm going to see his contract out. Sold him for 2 million and 50% next sale to Everton. Had offers of 20 million from City, but thought the next sale would be more than that. Stonks. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. George, why did I think you was English? What, me? I am English. Well, I'm half English, half Greek. FM Llama, evening gaffer. How goes the form? Llama, we have just entered pre-season for season 2. And we can't score against Tampere in a friendly, which probably isn't a good sign for sure. But we finished 4th. We won the playoffs. We'll be in Europe next season, and we haven't played a single competitive game since then. So, as far as I'm concerned, long may it continue. Our unbeaten run is going to last another Lord knows how many months. Yes, I would give you a shout out, Llama, but I've just shouted out Ease of Tackles. Once I can do the next step, I will indeed. I did see a Crudmo lingering in there earlier. I do imagine many people are probably already following, but if you're not, what on earth are you doing? How can anyone not be following Llama? What changes do we still need to? Who's still out there? It's Rockman needs to come off, and for Rockman, we're going to bring on Larson. And then defenders, we've got Arlo. Left back, we've got Strom. Good name. And one more defender. Do we have Patoot can play in? No, he can't. Fonsell can play in defence, so that's Fonsell. And the last change will be... Oh, Lindquist is on the bench. Of course, Enquist is the one coming on. Jesper Lind. I do not expect anything of these guys in the second half. Whilst we did rotate a bit for the first half, there's many more youth players in the starting lineup for the second half. We have FM Llama here. When will we have FM Camel? That hung them in. That's where it's got to start. Your content creation career starts now as FM Camel. Musterman, most of what all you lot say goes over my head. Bloody youngsters. That's fair. That is fair. And there we go. Now we lose a player to injury. Michael Fonsell's one of our good players. That's a bit of a bugger. So Strom can play centre back. We'll go with that. Is there an FM Alpaca? Would be good. Trapdoor was superb. It most definitely was. Step away from that trapdoor. There's something crazy down there. Oh, what a show. Boney. Now, to people who don't know what trapdoor was, I probably seem a little bit mad, and I'd just like to assure you that that's because I am a little bit mad, like medically speaking. We can't mention Saved by the Bell without mentioning the GOAT, Kelly Kapowski. Indeed. Ease off tackles, all you old uns in here. I was brought up on Arthur and Charlie and Lola. I have no idea what Charlie and Lola is. I'll be honest with you. Arthur was the yellow guy, right? The yellow guy with the fist, the angry fist meme, right? I know what all the kids are watching nowadays, right? I need to sort my overlays out again, update my drivers, and everything somehow reset. Took me hours to set up. That is the nightmare, isn't it? It's such a nightmare. Yonsa says a bit of a longer weekend as it's Finnish Independence Day. Marvellous. Is that today is Finnish Independence Day, or Monday is Finnish Independence Day? I'd refuse to send him 2 for talking about Jaden Reed. 30k lessons to fail. It's disgraceful, isn't it? Vulcan FM says up the Greeks. Up the Greeks indeed. FM Llama, no shout-outs needed. I'm just here for the puns and fun. That's what we've been quite poor on the lack of puns tonight, to be fair. I need to up my pun game for sure. Got arrested for crowd surfing at a concert. Wasn't my fault. I just got carried away. There we go indeed. I think I've still got the complete DVD key. So I don't have it anymore. I had a my leaving present from the Crown Prosecution Service, which I worked for a year when I was 18, 19, was like random goodies. But the thing I was most excited about was this lovely older lady. She was like late 50s, early 60s, that worked in the same department as me. It wasn't something new. She turned up with her copy of the VHS for Trapdoor and said, look, my kids don't watch this anymore, have it. That was the best present I ever received. Like, oh, made me so happy. So happy that I still remember it. How old am I now? 21 years later. And I genuinely forgot my own age for a moment. I'm missing some stuff here. It's doing that weird thing where it doesn't show replies to a reply if they're long, I think. So Crablegs remembers it. Hey, that's good. Saitama. RJ, Saitama? Saitama what? I think I've missed something there. We need the anthem if it's today. We do. So Yonsa, it's today the Independence Day. Marvellous. Let's see if we can find the Finnish national anthem. Let's just do a quick search of this over there. Minimize. Make sure it's the right size. I haven't got the media source set up for it, so this might actually be. Oh, what a finish from Joel Passanen. Edlund probably could have saved it, but he's 16. Don't be harsh on him. It's like Michael Owen scoring against that 13-year-old kid. Metzger plays it back to Passanen. Goes past his man, unleashes a shot off the underside of the bar, onto the inside of the post and in. What a lovely, lovely goal. That's amazing. I'm sure I still have it. And I had a few Aardman classic DVDs. You can't go wrong with the Aardman stuff, can you? Oh, all the early Wallace and Gromit's were definitely the best. There is no excuse for Musterman to not play it before the next match, says Quez. That is fair. I've got it searched on YouTube. I'll see if I can, probably in the next break, check what I need to do to set it up so that you can hear the noise from my browser. And then we should be good to go. The yellow guy with his fist that young people watch nowadays is Saitama. One Punch Man. No, I mean it's not a man. It's not a man. He's like a dog or something. The fist meme, like, you know, when someone's really angry but they're repressing their anger. So that one, and I think that's what Ease Off Tackles was saying. Yes, that's him. Potentially. Knight of Knee is in. Good evening. Maybe the Saitama being mentioned is the One Punch Man. You are clearly on the same wavelength as RJ there. FM Console is here. He's here for the national anthem specifically. Sod the FM. And was that, by the way? I know it's just a friendly, but that was a Willie Nunez goal. Willie scored. I agree. All millennials or later should be banned. That would leave just you, probably. That's fair. Also talking about older ladies. Who'd have thought Marissa Tomei is 60? It's amazing what being rich can do for your youth. That's for sure. Brazilian Fury, the angry fist meme is from the Arthur cartoon show. Yes. And Arthur is an aardvark. Yeah, that's the one with the clenched fist meme. Way, I know. Like I was gonna say I'm down with the kids, but like you guys are like gonna be in your 20s now. Like if you said that to people who are 8 or 9 now, they will call you old, I expect. So there we go, a reasonably solid win. We didn't really see much of the attacking midfielders in any of the highlights, so that's a little bit of an issue still. And let's have a look here. Possession-wise, touches, we had Rockman. Rockman was getting less of the ball than the strikers in the first half. Whereas Larson with only 10 touches in the second half, which is kind of embarrassing. Nunes had 19 in that second half. Lundberg had 22. So we can see passes received, can't we? Let's see that. Rockman. So you've got it here, kind of in. That's the kind of area you'd want. You want them to get that and then be able to turn and go. like to see a little bit more drifting. So I think roam from positions has to come back on. I want them picking up pockets of space. Let's see if that will help. If we look at where Larson received his 10 passes, so he got his more further forwards, and that's the desire for us hopefully to push a little bit higher with them once we're in possession. But otherwise quite deep getting the ball. We really struggle to move that into that area where Rockman was more active. So I think we need to make a couple of changes there. We'll see how this goes. DM basis, my 20s were a long time ago now. Yeah, let's not talk about the passage of time. That's probably a wise idea. So I want him running beyond. Shadow Striker does the getting forward thing, but I want them to come deep as well. So maybe roam from position is enough to do that. They need to be a goal scoring threat. They really need to. Maybe what we need to do is consider having one of these players on support. So maybe there's a little bit more of a bridge between the two units. Could possibly be the way. So do we do it on the... We do it on... So the more attacking one gets there, crosses to the byline. He ends up on support and maybe ends up crossing here. That bypass him at all. If he's crossing from here, he can still aim for the far post. If he gets the byline, he can kind of cut back there. So we'll go 2 support guys on the right hand side. Just see what impact that has. Boncel is out. Do we pay 9k for him to be seen? It's just fractured ribs. That's not a recurring injury, is it? No. Let's use the doctor. The same length of time out. It's not something that's going to be recurring or that they can fix with a specialist. So that seems to me to be a waste of nine grand, I think. Crudmo's 20 started in a different millennium. That is true. No attacking midfielder highlights. Raumdeuter. I do love a Raumdeuter. I do love a Raumdeuter, that's for sure. In case you didn't see, Mr. Man, I redeemed only correct. I do apologise for that, because yes, you did. What we'll do is we've got an ad starting in about 8 minutes, so we'll do that after the break, if that's all right with you, sir. I do apologise. Trequartista it is. That would be. I would love to be able to pull off a Trequartista in the Finnish division. That would be fun. Okay, Grandad, you win. That's fair. I'm fine with being 41 years old. That's fair. I'm in my last less than 6 months of my 30s. We've got April comes up and we'll hit the big 40, so that's something to look forward to. It's been all downhill since 30, so I am a little bit worried about how that then accelerates once we reach the next milestone. Let's not talk about the years passing. Too many iterations of CMFM since we started, right? Indeed, Knight of Knee. Indeed. Sorry, mate. Go to your GP. We're not paying. Exactly. We're not willing. If we're not willing to pay the minimum wage in Finland, you're not going to get us spending 9k on a special doctor. FM console. I had an XG against Liverpool of 4.9. They had 2.7. The game ended 0-0. Alisson made 14 saves and only got 9.2. Work that one out. That is quite incredible. And that's another injury. So we've got 3 players out for most of pre-season. 3 senior players. That's not good. That is not good at all. Yes, that's fine with me. Fair, cool, awesome. Thank you very much. DM bassist. So any big plans for the? Cool. Sorry. Yep. Any big plans for the 4-0? For the 4-0? Oh, for the 4-4-0. 4-0. None whatsoever. I will treat my birthday like I treat every birthday, which is just a normal day. I don't need to celebrate really. Maybe I will have a lion, because that's essentially the exciting things I look forward to nowadays is being able to sleep. It's all downhill from 25. Fair. 40, you have an excuse to do stupid stuff. 40's crisis and all that stuff. That's true. That is something to look forward to. I've done a lot of stupid stuff in my 20s and 30s though, and granted there's been repercussions, but that's never stopped me to begin with, so could actually be dangerous. I'm there before you, don't worry. 40 at the end of Feb for FM console. Oh, do you have any plans for the big 4-0? And Ladislav's 20s haven't even started. Now you're just trying to make us jealous. Now you're just making us jealous there, Ladislav. Right, what random changes do we go for here? Let's bring in Machado over on the left. We'll chuck Lind in there. We'll give Nunes a start. Swap both the fullbacks. We'll go for Holmberg and Enquist there, and we'll give Edlund the start. That'll be a slightly more balanced team. Like both the team that starts the first half and plays the second half will be a little bit more balanced in terms of quality potentially. So here we go. Last friendly. 4 minutes to go until the ad break, and I have a feeling that if we don't get there in time, I need the ad break to work out how to get the browser sounds lined up. I think I can do it with a media source, but I'm not 100% certain. So Crablongs, enjoy the last few months of your 30s. It whizzes by quick as you get older, doesn't it? Well, that's true. I mean, it's technically every year is shorter than the last, right? If you want to be one of those like maths idiots, and I am a maths idiot, because when you're one year is 100% of your life, but when you're 40, it's only 2.5% of your life. So much shorter, right? That's how it works. That's how maths works, I'm sure. Per Edlund proving he might not quite be ready to be a backup. That is a bit of a clanger there for him. I'll try to get him to leave the house. No, you won't. Well, you'll try. You just won't. Slayman Nunes. Now that's a front line. It is indeed. Slayman Willie. Willie Slayman. Beautiful things. I never thought of it like that. Thanks, Musterman. It's not. A year is still a year. But yeah. But there is an element of you have all those reference points behind you, and so you kind of end up rolling things all together, and a single year seems relatively insignificant compared to everything that has preceded it. So it does feel, in some respects, like time moving far. Willie Slayman indeed. So vote AFD Deutschland. If I wanted to change the colour scheme in Mustermann Master Skin, would I just do the same thing I did for Mustermann Iconic version? Yes. You follow the FAQs. So another chance here for Jazz. Lofgren gets it clear, but not particularly well. And there we go, Edlund trying to make amends. We have been pretty poor, haven't we? We're up against another 3-man defence. We haven't created a chance in 12 minutes. Jazz have had a few. We've been really, really sloppy with the ball. So here we go. Bear with me one moment. It's only a friendly. In fact, we don't want this on extend highlights. Key highlights should be more than sufficient. Who the hell is saying, and can you kick people out of YouTube? I don't know if I can. I might not necessarily agree with the message. I will certainly not be particularly keen. That is fair. Don't answer. At AFD is bound. I agree with you. I have absolutely no qualms in that respect. I'm not sure if I can, to be honest, using this interface. I can. Let me just check that it is a legitimate. Bear me one moment. I'm broken now. In fact, the best way for me to do this is it's half time. Let's run the ad, and then I can sort out some admin. Right, we're back, and I've gone to the wrong screen already. So, yeah, I've just done some admin. It's had to do a little bit more beyond just the YouTube side of things as well, in that regard. So, part of the reason why I had to go away was because the message suggests that they were also a patron as well, and if I'm going to ban them from YouTube, I would also like to remove them from Patreon as well. I will happily refund them. But I do need to do a little bit more digging into who exactly that is, because yeah, I'm not particularly comfortable with that in those respects. But also, if I'm going to then deny them access to something, I certainly can't be accepting money, and it's only right to return that there. So, was that dude trolling, or is he actually for that party? Who knows? We can't be certain. Maybe we'll hear more from them. But yeah, it ultimately doesn't matter. What has happened has done, and there's nothing to stop him from then coming on into Twitch. And unless there's a really obvious username in that respect, I will never ever know. So that's just something to be like, you know. Censorship is really a little bit pointless in many respects on the internet in that regards, because yeah, like, you just create another account, don't you? But yeah, so that's what it is. That's what it is. Here we go. Let's play some Only Connect instead. So let's explain the rules, just in case there's anyone in here who hasn't seen it before. You're going to see 4 players, one after the other. all 4 players are connected in some regards. What is that reason? No one knows. Your job is to work it out. I can't speak. Let's start that sentence again. We've got a guess for DeMarco. Incredible. And Quadmo's just won a 4th Champion League. Marvellous stuff. Marvellous stuff. So 4 players. Your job is to guess. The earlier you guess, the more points you get. The pictures won't tell you who the players are, so if you know who it is, shout it out in the chat. And that way there's a chance that other people will then start to get ideas and you kind of work together to get to the answer. Let's give you the first clue. Who is this glorious, glorious human being? Is it that they all have not played with DeMarco? Even that might not necessarily be true. You never know, Ladislav. Maybe they played a 5-a-side game with him in his later life. Who knows? Stefan Schwartz, says Quadmo. Wow, memory, says Crab Lungs. Hung Min says an Arsenal player, and George F has already guessed that they're all Norwegian. Stefan Schwartz was Swedish, I think, but it's not that anyway. So Stefan Schwartz, a player that I remember fondly for appearing in Panini sticker albums. He was like a player that you would always get 100 copies of. Him and Ian Selly. I wonder what Ian Selly is up to nowadays. So our other guesses coming in, they all had clauses inserted into their contracts telling them they couldn't go into space. Can you name 3 others? My guess was FM, not did you win it in real life. That's no, in real life, Quadmo is Pep Guardiola. Okay, fair enough. There's some news. He is Swedish, like Weed, says RJ, indeed. So Ladislav, this is Stefan Schwartz, a former Arsenal player who is linked in some way to this guy. He looks like a young Martin Ødegaard. That is a fair comment, to be fair. So Jonsa is guessing that they all have colours as their last names. Schwartz being black, indeed. The fine guess, and definitely the kind of thing I would do. It's not that unfortunate, but a great guess. So Yuri Djorkaeff is guessed by Quadmo. Perez has been guessed by RJ. It is indeed Yuri Djorkaeff. But another good French player in there, and I can see that with the Arsenal connection, why you might go for Perez. They both have quite strong noses as well. But it is indeed Yuri Djorkaeff. So Knight of Knee says he also played in Portugal. So they all played in red kits. That is quite a broad guess. I imagine most players have at some point played in a red kit. Like, even if they played for just one team all year round, like third kits and things. But no, so sadly it isn't that they all played in red kits. Good old times when football was simpler, says ACAB Europe. Now we've got some much more specific guesses coming in. Some I don't know if we'll ever be able to satisfy these criteria, but both are midfielders and they are male. I can't confirm on either. No, so sadly it isn't that at all. They both played in the Premier League. They did indeed. Schwartz for Arsenal and Sunderland. Djorkaeff for Bolton and Blackburn. I can tell you, as we move to the next clue, that those things are absolutely true, but they are not relevant to this. Those clubs in particular aren't relevant to this. That might help guide you that it is something to do with clubs or something potentially. So Lippmann and Levi is in early with Lippmann, and RJ's got Lippmann, and Krutmo has mentioned that he played for Liverpool. Won the UEFA Cup, says ease off tackles. That is a fine guess. It's not that, I'm afraid. Yari Lippmann played for Liverpool. Yeah, finally I recognise one. And Fulham, shouts ease off tackles. He did indeed play for Fulham. Now that is and isn't relevant. All players wanted to go to space goes for Hung Min. They might have done, I don't know. Used shirts with collars. It's a good old throwback, isn't it? Are they all collars? Is Djorkaeff wearing a collar for the French kit? Let's just quickly snip back. There is a collar there as well. My word, that isn't the clue, but it is. I think you're correct. He didn't play for Fulham. He's off tackles. That isn't the link, but there is some relevance somewhere down the line. So FM Console, I have watched them on telly. That is fair. And with the last person, you probably watched them on telly too. Wouldn't that be such a dick move if I made one of the connections just like someone that FM Console's seen? No one would ever guess that, and it'd be brilliant watching the chaos unfold. They're all 50 plus, says Balkan FM. That's fair. The last one isn't, I'm afraid to tell you. Also playing the Premier League for Liverpool, indeed I did. Bro, I'm not old enough for this. I'm sorry. You will get some of these where, sometimes you might only have one old player thrown in, but sometimes, generally with the older, they're players who are known. But this one is a little bit more niche. It comes with the connection. Get older. The last guy played with DeMarco. There we go. I know them all, says RJ. All retired. All retired again. We're not quite there. I'm going to move on to the last one, which is probably going to help out there. But it might not do. All players are taller than 170 centimeters. Quite possibly. That's not what I was thinking of, but that's an interesting thought. They were all lucky enough to play in the Prem at the same time as JJ Okocha. Again, sadly, we've ruined it with the last clue. Managed by Sven-Goran Eriksson, says Ladislav. It's not Sven-Goran Eriksson. Did they all win international trophies? Guesses Kwan, that's not quite there. Schwartz wasn't married by Eriksson. Club record fees with a good callback there from his off tackles, it isn't. Boo. Ibra. Where's Ibra? All got robbed of a Ballon d'Or. There's something quite subjective. They make monocle with their fingers. That would be a good clue. It's not that, I'm afraid. So Dele Alli. All players are taller than 170 centimeters. No, Hung Min, I'm afraid it's not height related. The closest guess so far was managed by Sven-Goran Eriksson. It wasn't Sven-Goran Eriksson. I can tell you that it's someone who managed Litmanen at Fulham, but because he didn't play at Fulham, that doesn't count. So he managed Jari Litmanen somewhere else as well. So all players saw Ibra score. Okay, that's fair. All celebrated covering their eyes. That'd be cool. And there we go. Ladislav has got it. I will assume, I will give the benefit of the doubt that when you say Roy, you are talking, of course, about Roy Hodgson. They were all managed by Roy Hodgson. Johnson went for Rafa Benitez, which is a fabulous guess as well. Played with or managed by Pochettino. I love that guess as well, Kwan. The little twist of with as well. And then Crudmo, Hodgson, Ladislav, beautiful. It is Roy indeed, he's off tackles. So he managed Stefan Schwartz at Malmo from 1987 to 1990. He managed Yuri Djorkaeff at Internazionale, Blue Neri, between 96 and 97. He managed Finland for Jari Litmanen. He then was at Fulham when Litmanen was there, but never played him. And obviously Dele Alli at England 2015 to 16. It was a tricky one to get, that's for sure. But fantastic work there from Ladislav. A well-deserved 1 point. Now, I think... So, Balkan has just redeemed Guess the Player. I think we go straight into it because, I'll be honest, I'm noticing the voice getting a lot more gravelly and I don't think I'm going to make it for another hour at this rate. So, let's head straight into Guess the Player. And see, so again, if there's anyone in here who hasn't seen this before, the rules are pretty simple. You're going to see a snapshot of a player profile in FM24. That's the default database with FM24. So if they moved over this summer, they're going to be at their old club, not their new club. You're going to see 5 pictures, one after the other. Your job is to guess who the player is, and the earlier you guess, the more points you get. So what will you see? We'll show you the clues. You know what's going on. In fact, the voice is definitely going. This is probably, I'm afraid to say, going to be the end of the stream after this, because it's going. Let's go to round 1, where I'll say things a little bit less frequently. Freddie Adu, guess Staycab, DeMarco, guess RG. Good guesses straight off the top. There's neither of those, I'm afraid. Is it Kostas Mavropanis? Poor old Mavropanis, hey? Konstantelios is a winger. This is a 2-footed winger. Is it Ladislav Almasi? That would be nice, wouldn't it? Dale Gordon, Crodmo coming in with the anachronistic guesses. Marcus Rashford, Anthony Gordon, Harvey Barnes, Stelios Yiannakopoulos, Anthony. They are all fine guesses. So just to note that they're right-footed and they're okay with their dominant right foot. They're good with their left foot. Because I see a few left-footed players being guessed as well. Obviously, there's Anthony in there. There's Živkovic, a lovely guess who's left-footed. Kvaratskhelia or Kvadona, Dwight McNeil, Leon Bailey, all fabulous guesses. But this player is definitely right dominant. So Sancho and Antoine Semenyo are coming in. What I will say, guys, look at the star rating. Only 2.5 stars. Garnacho is a guess from George. Now, Garnacho is a fair guess. And maybe you think I'm being a little bit harsh, suggesting that he's only a 2.5 star player. But he is still young. He is still raw. It isn't Garnacho, I'm afraid. And this is an attribute polygon of kind of a little bit confusing, maybe even a little underwhelming. Who on earth? Oh, what's we got going on here? Okay, so yeah. Hudson Odoi says Balkan FM. That is a fair guess as well. It is not Hudson Odoi, I'm afraid. It's not Enciso either. Julio Enciso would be a lovely guess as well. I would definitely like Julio Enciso to be the answer. Bear one moment. How you guys can you guys see the polygon? I've got this running. Oh, okay. My laptop appears to have hung. That's why I was getting confused. So I have the laptop up so that I can make sure the feed is working, and that's stopped working and frozen on the last screen. So I got confused. I do apologise. So Adingra, that is a fine guess as well. It is not. He's too slow for these guesses. Indeed, Console. He's just not quite. He's certainly not an elite winger, that's for sure. Yonsa has come in with Matches Tell. That is a fine guess. It isn't Matches Tell, but let's move to the next one. It's a squad player. The Challenger Pro League. And I think the Challenger Pro League is probably going to be the big hint, because Balkan FM, within mere seconds of that appearing, had typed in the 4 letters needed to correctly identify Antonio Nusa. It is indeed the Bruges winger himself, Antonio Nusa, often linked with Tottenham and Chelsea, a quality player. So Hunter Min, great guess with El Canoes. Mark Roberts, a fantastic guess. Noose as well. Unfortunately, pipped to the post by Balkan. RJ went for Vashiran. Hazard was a guess from Kwan. Some great guesses in Teketelaer. Noosa is at Leipzig now. Indeed, he is. That's why I have to do the whole disclaimer at the front that this is where they start in FM24. Because, Noosa did make his move. Adjusting nicely. That's good to hear. Boo, Bruges, says RJ. Now, RJ was complaining at the last round he had no chance of getting the link with Roy Hodgson. And yet here, served up on a platter, is a Belgian player in the Belgian leagues. I'm disappointed, RJ. I have to say, I'm not. That's perfectly fine. Noosa could have been at Palace over the summer. He could indeed. Lots and lots of quality guesses, and a really good player. I like Noosa, even if he does have some problems with injuries. So I said we were going to end after that game, and we kind of are. Let's just finish off the friendly we're in the middle of, and then we'll head off and we'll have a quick gander to see who's about at this time and send our love and appreciation to them. Let's make those changes. Now go away, please, says Crudmo. Rest your voice and we'll see you soon. I will go away in a moment, because I definitely need to. But right now, because I can't just quit the game as it is anyway, so I'd have to play through these moments off stream. So Strom on there, and that's where we can go. Let's see how those guys go. Okay, but no talking. I will still talk, I'm afraid. By the way, Tanner, thank you for saying hi. Lovely to see you this evening. Yonsa says that was a big hint. To be fair, it was a big hint. It most definitely was. So this is probably the wind down you never knew was coming. One where I stop talking through the last few moments, and then everyone will depart, understandably. But no, let's. Any recommendations for who we should send our stream over to? Dupe is on. He's been up for an hour and a bit. I don't think we've popped over to see Dupe before. He's doing Basque only with Deportivo Alaves. That sounds like a good stream to pop on over to. Tony's just started, says FM Console. He has indeed. As Olawale equalises with, is that an own goal? Yeah. It looked like it moved a little bit slow. Tony is a good shout indeed. We have sent over to Tony a couple of times before, so I am kind of keen to kind of diversify. But no, he's been off this week, hasn't he? Yeah, let's head on over to the lovely, wonderful Tony. There are few who do it better than Mr. Jameson. So yeah, after this we'll head over. Moonu's on. Okay, cool. Well, there's lots of good folks. I've now queued up Tony to go, so we'll send on over to the one for Mr. Jameson, and then we'll... Oh, wait a second. Aslenberg, there's the turnaround. Olawale setting him up. No. We will send on over to Moo, because Monique doesn't normally stream in the evenings, so there won't be an opportunity to raid over to her that regularly. She's just come back from holiday in Japan. Lovely creator. Came all the way over from the Netherlands to Slough of all places. And there we've thrown away the comeback. It is Weekenden, our goal coping hero. Let's see if he can't, I'm afraid. So Muna Munoz again. Yeah, the small streamer called Zealand might need some love. Now I'm afraid that, to put it as respectfully as possible, Quez, Zealand's just a little bit too small for us to raid on over, I think. Mark Roberts, loved the Dortmund video. Really appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you, my dude. Go rest your voice, says Tatsugiri. Yes, we are almost there. We are almost at resting point. Literally, the moment the full-time whistle goes, we will head on out. And there we go. 2-2. Let's bring up that browser.